Do you struggle to find joy when you're moving through depression or anxiety? I know it all too well. I have spent most of my life struggling to find happiness, stuck in the darkness of depression, bipolar mania, and I've moved through a lot. And why I'm making this video is because I want to support you in finding more joy in your life. Being able to be in your grief and also still see the beauty that's all around you. And it's taken me a long time to get to a better place of being able to access how beautiful life truly is. And so I hope this video supports you in that. And in this video, I'm also going to be making beef stroganoff because this dish holds a really special place in my heart. And it's very connected to my family and the ones I love, specifically my mom and my grandmother, who are the primary reason that I cook. The joy that I have experienced from their cooking and in the moments of nostalgia, in the moments of deep connection to food and flavor, has helped me realize how to access that joy deeper within me. So I chose this dish because it really brings out a deeper joy within me. And yeah, to talk about these more difficult things that we move through in life, especially those prone to anxiety and depression. It can be a lot to experience. It can be a lot to move through. It can feel endless at times. It can feel like there is no end in sight. How am I supposed to move through something that feels like there is no roadmap, there is no guide, and so much research nowadays and so many people are trying to uncover, like, where does depression come from? Like, why are we experiencing it? And for me, personally, it took a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of alternative healing, of just going for it, of trying things that may not make sense, but actually helped me. And really, what's coming through for me right now, the core of it all, beyond, biological imbalances or trauma or all of these things, is the desire to feel alive. Is when I really got to the core of it, like beyond the grief, beyond the what's going on with me. When I got to the core of it, it was the desire to feel alive, to be alive, to not numb out. And that's why I chose this dish, because that joy, that feeling within us, we all want to connect to those feelings. And we can connect to them through authentic ways, through meaningful practices in life, or we choose things that aren't good for us, things that numb us out, that try to replicate honest feelings that we experience through life, that make us feel alive, or we choose patterns that pretend, we trick ourselves into believing that that's what it's giving us, and then we're confused why we feel off, we're anxious, we're depressed. And so really it's coming back to genuine, authentic expression, vulnerability, and connection is really one of the main antidotes for depression. Like, there is so many other things we can go into, but before I get into those, I really want to focus on the dish and start bringing this more to light, because I'm going to make egg noodle pasta with einkorn flour. And if you don't know about einkorn flour, einkorn is the original wheat. All of our wheat nowadays is hybridized from einkorn. And so this is the original wheat. There's no alterations to it. So low gluten index, a lot of people who can't handle gluten. So a lot of people are like, oh, why I can go to Italy and have all this gluten, but when I come back to America, I can't have any of it. It's because they use ancient grains. It's because their wheat hasn't been hybridized. And yeah, a lot of our wheat is just man-made synthetic creation at this point. And so long story short, I'm gonna make some egg noodles. And I still like to use white flour. I just primarily have switched to this, and I use white flour for other reasons. But if you use white flour, that's perfect. But if you have gluten issues, I would highly recommend going to einkorn flour. There's a lot more nutritional value within it. Yeah, so we're gonna make the egg noodles, and then I got Parmesan, mushrooms, garlic, onions. I got a Meyer lemon at the store, which I'm excited about. We're gonna use the zest, parsley, sour cream, heavy cream, bone broth. I also have a ribeye. And so with this dish, I'm going to only use half the ribeye because I'm just cooking for myself. And I'm gonna cut them into little segments so that it blends really well with the noodles. If you want to just sear it off and slice it and put it on top, you're more than welcome to. That's how I'm gonna approach it. I'm really grateful for the place that I bought this from because since it's a smaller cut, I was able to not spend as much on the ribeye. And then also, if you want to use ground beef, I would say that's a good alternative. A lot of the other stew meats are a little more challenging because then you would have to braise it beforehand, but then you could throw it in the dish at the end. Or you can do top sirloin, New York strip, filet mignon. I personally this is what they had at the store, so I went for that. I think ground beef would be another option, really good option. Yeah. And so I'm gonna make the egg noodles while I talk about finding happiness, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, because for me, I don't make a lot of pasta actually. This is kind of an invitation to get more into the pasta game. I make a lot more bread, and I don't know why at times. I feel maybe at times life invites us into new things when it's the proper time. You know, everything happens for a reason. Everything has a meaning behind it, I feel. And yeah, I'm gonna start making this. And I guess why I'm speaking about, you know, everything has meaning, everything has a reason, is because depression can feel very meaningless. It can feel very, like anxiety can feel like, why is this even happening to me? Should I even be experiencing this? And, you know, in the classic medical standard, you know, depression, bipolarism, all this stuff is just a biochemical imbalance. It's just like it shouldn't be happening, but it is. And I don't fully believe that. I feel like a lot of research that's coming out is kind of like there that can be happening, but there's so much deeper going on underneath the surface. So you're just gonna take, with einkorn, it doesn't hold moisture as well from the egg, so I'm only doing 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup, and then if I need to add a little bit more flour, I will, but I don't wanna add too much flour. If you're using normal flour, you can just do 1-to-1, and I'm just using normal large egg, and I'm just gonna make a little well in the middle of it so that holds the egg, and then I'm gonna crack it in. And I'll get a fork, and use a fork to begin with, and eventually you'll use your hands, but you just don't wanna get a lot of the egg on your fingers because then it's gonna stick and it's gonna get all weird for you. So you just take it and you just start folding in, and you mix it, and you just start folding in the egg. Yeah, because I find that what I've learned through my journey of depression is that depression is not meaningless. Depression is a signal. That's something that really changed in my awareness with depression is a signal for something deeper going on. But at times we don't know what that deepness is. We don't know what's going on. So it's like, okay, it's a signal, but like what? And that's where it becomes challenging for most, because that's where the excavation comes in. And I'm gonna add just a pinch of salt, not too much, maybe like 1/4 or half a teaspoon. And yeah, that signal that's guiding us. Depression is guiding us to the reason. But that reason can feel so far away, and if we don't know how to connect our feelings, can feel very confusing. And you know, then we have all of our patterns of numbing out and not wanting to feel, and the inner defensive mechanisms we create to not feel our feelings. So it takes a lot of breaking down. It takes a lot of a willingness to go in. And that's more of like the realm of your spirit, or the realm of emotions, or the realm of your feelings. And then once you get the egg blended enough with the flour, you can just start using your hands. And so when it comes to the spirit, when it comes to the emotions, we have to validate what we're feeling. And we can't just shame ourselves for what we're feeling, and we have to validate what's going on within us so that we can move through the next layers. We can keep moving forward in how we're feeling, moving forward in the depression, because a lot of the times depression makes no sense. It just feels like I'm in a void, I'm in a purgatory and nothing has meaning to it. But within that, we're trying to find the reasonings, and then it kind of branches off into two places. We won't get into the mind right now because I feel like the mind is just kind of a victim to the body and the spirit. The mind will just go places that it doesn't know how to register what's going on within the body or what's going on within the spirit. And a lot of the times with the mind, it really becomes about the breath. It becomes about just calming down the heart, to steady the thoughts and to let things go. We live in a society that's so trapped within our thinking and our reasoning and our mind that we have to get into the somatics of the body, into the feelings of the spirit, so that we can access things on a deeper level. And the mind is also a crucial element to it all, but I feel like we've been so overly focused on it, it's nice to get out of it for a moment. And as you're doing this, you really just want to keep blending in the flour. I'm just crushing in the flour, compressing it all. It's really not about, kneading, or we're developing gluten in some ways, but it's really more just incorporating it all together until you get this beautiful golden dough. And so with the body, because when you're in depression and things feel very numb, things feel very stagnant, there's not a lot of aliveness within the body. A lot of it is because of toxicity. It's because of the food we eat, how we treat ourselves, and our cellular structure has been damaged. How we are made of electricity, of energy. You can imagine it just energy moving through the body, just as I would plug something into an outlet. The electrical current within us is not knowing how to send information properly. So we're not sending information properly through the body through a lot of cellular damage. And then our gut biome is being destroyed by the toxic foods that we eat and the water that we drink that's filled with toxins. And that just eventually, when we think of microbial colonies, or, when we think of bacteria, we need good bacteria, we need good microbes. And then when we get into, antibiotics from the doctor, it's just destroying everything. So the food we eat and all of these different medicines that we could take, sometimes we need to take these certain things for certain reasons, but then we don't have protocols to rebuild. And that's my issue with medical society, is there's not a lot of rebuild. There's just a lot of let's get rid of this. And so that's where alternative medicine comes in. But when electrically you're not sending proper signals through your body, and then you don't have the ability to absorb nutrients properly because of bacterial and microbial damage, and then inflammation, and then leakiness, and it just keeps going on in the decay. And that's when we hit the point of where we just feel dead on the inside, because there's not a microbial life within us. So much of our body isn't even us. It's our environment. It's the microbes. It's the mushrooms, the fungi, the plants, what we breathe, the soil. It's like we are so much less of ourselves than we believe. We are so much a product of our environment and what's around. And I'm throwing a lot of things out right now because we need to live a more biodynamic, wholesome life that's more connected to nature, which is another big part of it, our disconnection from nature. But to also so the dough's pretty much done now. I'm just compacting it in my hands to really not have any cracks in it anymore, and to get it to a place that it will be ready to cut. So with dough, when you're making pasta, you want to rest it in the fridge to let it cool down from all the heat that was generated. And then, after 30 minutes to an hour, the gluten will also relax, so it'll be easier to roll out the dough. And so you just keep pressing it together to get rid of cracks and air bubbles. And the spirit, the aliveness, when we're not connecting to others, when we're not connecting to ourselves, when we're not connecting to a greater love in existence and life, there can be this hopelessness, this meaninglessness that really starts to infect our spirit, that really starts to bring us down in how we feel. And so depression comes in those waves. It comes in the body being damaged, also our spirit not feeling alive, And then another avenue that starts to really break through is intergenerational trauma through the body and the spirit that our great, what, 7 generations, 10 generations back, how they lived, how they thought, what they eat, the microbes that were in their body, the traumas they experienced, the beauty they experienced, that all gets passed down to us. And a lot of people aren't willing to recognize that because they can feel a little woo-woo, but really science is starting to catch up that how our ancestors felt and the pains that they went through alter them physically and alter us physically. Because if you take in toxins or take in poisons, your body has to shift in order to hold that. And so the cells have to rearrange, mitochondria has to do different processes, your biochemical reaction to things completely alter. And then when you have a kid, you pass that all down to them. And so a lot of us are dealing with the depression of our ancestors, the pain of our ancestors, and also the pain that we experience in this life, the traumas that happen to us. And so when all this starts to stack, eventually the body can't hold it anymore, the spirit can't hold it anymore, and we start breaking. And that breaking point is the depression. And then anxiety is a little bit different for me. I feel like anxiety is a little bit more of a roadmap trying to tell us what we need to do, which is a whole different thing we can get into. But I'm also rambling on for a moment and I need to get the rest of this going. So I got the dough. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna wrap it in saran wrap real quick. I already made one beforehand, so it's already rested. So I will grab that out and this one will rest and I'll have this later. All right, so I got the rested dough. Now I'm gonna take this cutting board and give it a quick clean. Yeah, because for me personally, it took a long time to understand that my depression wasn't meaningless. That there was something going on underneath the surface, because for years it was just, I thought I was just in this endless torment, that I would never heal, that I would never be able to grow out of it. And it took a lot of different routes, a lot of doing some pretty radical things and also some pretty normal things and landing in a good place in between to learn how to get beyond it. Not just conceptually, but physically. Like to not just like go into those places all the time, to like heal my body to the point of where I don't just go into those places, and I built a life to where I'm not just putting myself in highly stressful, traumatizing situations where I keep recreating that pain. And learning to love, learning to forgive, learning that life happens and we can't control everything. And we have to surrender so much. So right now I'm just taking the ribeye and adding some salt to it. And then I'm gonna take my knife. I'm going to cut half because I'm gonna eat that for later. And then I'm just gonna find the grain, which is going that way. And I'm just gonna cut little bits because I want this to be like when I have the noodles, I'll have these nice little bits of meat in there that I can eat with it. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sear this and then put it on the side. And then when my sauce is done, I'm gonna add that in. All right. So I'm gonna cut this. I also don't want the big pieces of fat because they're just not going to have enough time to cook down because everything's so small, but I'll eat that later. I'm just gonna cut these nice little pieces, these nice little shreds of meat, it's like that's the perfect size. Yeah, you just want nice little pieces, and then you want a tender cut of meat like the ribeye so that you're not getting this hard chew when you're eating it all. So I got these nice little pieces. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. I'm gonna put that on the side for a moment until I'm ready to cook it. I honestly will probably wait till the sauce is done since I cut them smaller, just because there's no really need for it to rest. And I'm gonna get moving on the sauce. And I keep wanting to call this beef bourguignon. No, beef stroganoff. So a lot of recipes call for Worcestershire, which is the umami element in the sauce, and Dijon, but I've decided to make this dish a little lighter, so I'm going with Parmesan as a replacement for Worcestershire as the umami element, and then lemon zest as the acidic element instead of Dijon. Because I just felt like the sauce, I mean, there's already cream and there's beef and there's mushrooms. I feel like there's so much heavy going on that I wanted to lighten up the dish a bit. And so I'm gonna take the onions, I'm gonna take the mushrooms, I'm gonna take the garlic, and I'm gonna cut those up. And then, yeah, so you're gonna sweat down the mushrooms and onions, cook them down in the pan, and then you'll add the garlic. And then once that's all cooked down very evenly, then you're gonna add the cream and the bone broth and then cook that down. And then you're gonna add the sour cream at the end. So that's the process. All right. You know, and one story that I heard when I was really going through my overcoming of depression, waking up a little more spiritually, was a story about, and there's so many of the stories have been told so many times in different ways, but I'm just going to give a general premise of it. There once was a man who lived in society who struggled with depression, who, no matter what he did, could not overcome the feeling of nothingness, the feeling of pain, of sorrow, just feeling dead on the inside. And after going to so many doctors and therapists, the man reached the end of his rope and decided to buy a plane ticket and go to a country he always wanted to go to. Just doing something radically different. And when the man got there, he got into the village, and out of pure synchronicity of life, he was talking to somebody and telling, and you know, they connected really deeply, more deeply than he usually does with people. And he told him a little bit about why he came and his issues. He's like, oh, you need to go speak to the local healer. He can help you. He has things that will really put you on the right path. And so this man, kind of at the end of his rope, and I mean, a lot of times when we reach the end of our rope, we'll do things we normally wouldn't do, decided to go to this healer. You know, and also this man did not believe in what the healer could do. You know, grew up very conventional most of his life, does not believe in what this man has to give to him. And when he reaches the healer, he starts to tell him about his issues after he's invited into the tent, sat down, given some tea, and just really in a space, and something inside of him just starts to tell the man, like, what's really going on, how he feels dead on the inside, how he feels purposeless in life, how he can't overcome what's going on within him. And the man, the healer, instead of giving him, you know, a bottle of tincture, you know, giving him the physical medicine that he needs, he offered him a reflection. He asked him, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop allowing yourself to go outside and let the sun gently caress your skin and take a deep breath and really feel life at its core? When did you stop doing these things? And those are the questions we have to ask ourselves. When did we stop doing these things? Was it trauma? Was it pain? Did life start to overtake, you know, our creativity? Did paying the bills and showing up for the ones we love, you know, when did we stop in day-to-day moments doing things that make us feel alive? And that's a deep question we have to ask ourselves, you know, and it can sometimes feel daunting to realize that we get in our own way. You know, and when we're depressed and when we're numb on the inside and when things don't feel alive, it can feel really hard to feel that. And so as we reclaim that in the spirit, we also eat healthier food, find alternative medicines that can help us heal. You know, it takes a lot, you know, and in my journey, at so many times it just felt hopeless. At so many times it felt like there was no cure, there was no getting better. This just was what it is, and there'll be seasons of pain and there'll be seasons of joy, and that's just the cycle that I'm stuck in. I'll never be able to overcome it, and I just have to accept. And there is beauty within the acceptance of our reality, because a lot of us just want to escape our circumstances. So I'm going to take the mushrooms and cut them into fourths instead of doing slices. We just want to escape our circumstances. We don't want to be in the truth that we're suffering. We don't want to be in what's really going on, because there's a lot of pain, and we just want to numb out and hide. And if you look back on your life, that's not what gave you joy. Hiding from the pain isn't going to help us overcome the pain. Only through moving through it, which is the hardest thing to do. And that's another part of depression, is not many of us want to acknowledge our grief, acknowledge our pain, feel it, to move through it, because it can feel so vast. And that's where I get into depression is a signal that when you really surrender, that your body is sending you all the information you need to heal. Not all at once. We all want like this all at once moment, but it's sending you the intelligence, the stream that's coming through, that's guiding you in life to find what you're searching for in waves and chapters and arcs, so that you eventually can get to what you want. But you have to surrender into that synchronicity, that you'll have moments of, oh, I need to go here, I need to do these things, and you have to follow it, and you have to allow yourself to open up to receive and support. And for some, that's just starting with therapy. And for some, that's when you really want to talk to somebody on the street, just going and saying hi. It's putting yourself out there. And that's not the only way to heal, but however you can do it in a safe way that supports your nervous system to push yourself a little bit. It's really just about pushing yourself a little further than you would normally go. So I'm gonna get the water boiling. I already got water in here. Salty as the sea. I'm just gonna add a lot of salt. And then I'm gonna get this going. I don't need that one yet. I may just turn this on to warm it up, but then I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna get the sauce going now. Oh man, I just shared a lot. There's a lot to explore within it all. I mean, in my personal journey, I'm really grateful for my mom, because she found a therapist to help when I was really struggling. It was the first thing that I did that kind of pushed me, and it was called biorhythmic breathing. And it was a woman who would hook me up to a heart monitor, and she would just teach me how to breathe to slow my heart rate down. Because most of us don't realize that our anxiety and depressions come from the heart, come from the body, come from what's going on inside of us, come from the nervous system stress. And so I'm really grateful that my first go at therapy was just learning how to breathe, which then put me down more of studying with monks in a Buddhist path of learning how to just breathe into my body and silence my mind and just go into that Zen space. I'm not a full Buddhist. I just love so much of the practices that are there. And yeah, like from that to Buddhism and breathing, and then getting more into like alternative healing and alternative medicine, and getting to the place of realizing like, oh, my body doesn't know how to absorb food properly anymore. And you know, this is also why I made this dish, because this dish is such a redemptive joy for me, because I was lactose intolerant for 4 years intensely, and then 7 years, those other 3 years. Now I can have a dish like this maybe once a week, and I primarily eat goat cheese, but I've worked up my body enough to be able to handle something like this. And it's really exciting that, you know, when I couldn't eat pizza for 4 years and was sad that I had to, you know, that I was sick and I had ulcers and I was, you know, had a lot of inflammation and a lot of issues and a lot of issues. It was really hard for a couple of years, you know, and it takes a lot want to move through it. There becomes this place where when your body's going and your mind is going, you have to lean into your spirit. You have to lean into that deeper part of you, that deeper fire that just wants to overcome. And that's what got me through so much of this. So much. All right, I'm gonna add the mushrooms, not the garlic yet, just the mushrooms and the onions, because I don't want the garlic to burn. And I'm just gonna sweat this down. Yeah, and you know, it's hard to bring up, but I'm gonna bring up suicide because it's something that I've struggled with suicidal tendencies for much of my youth, and also losing a really dear friend in the recent years to suicide. When you're super depressed, there's so many parts of you that just want to die, that, you know, it's like you can't handle what's going on in your mind, your body is feeling like shit, and it is a death in a way. It's a detox, it's a dying, but we've taken that response of like, oh, something needs to die within me, that I want to die. And having to overcome that, you need to ask for help. And there is a will within the spirit to overcome, but you can't do it alone. And if you don't have anyone in your life that you feel you can be that vulnerable with, reach out to a group, find a therapist. You gotta do something. You can't just white knuckle it. We all need help. And that's what I guess what I'm getting at with depression is we all need support from people who love us. We all need support to love, and we can't hide from that. We need it deeply. We need it so deeply. So I'm gonna add the garlic now. You know, and your struggle isn't meaningless. It's what you do with it. It's how you use it to help others, how you use it to be creative, how you use it to love more deeply and to help the world heal, evolve, reach a deeper place of meaning. Your depression is not meaningless if you're going through it. And that's what I believe, because I know it to be true at this point, you know, being someone who had to severely move through it. So we got some thunder. So I sweated down the onions, the garlic, things are hearing me. And I'm gonna add a little bit of cream, a little bit of bone broth. I'm gonna turn this down just a tiny bit so it doesn't overcook. I'm gonna turn the other pan down. I just wanted to get it warm. I'm gonna add the cream. Not too much, just enough to like coat the bottom of your pan. Like that was probably like 1/4 or half a cup. I mean, it depends on how much you're making. Since I'm only making enough for myself, I don't need a lot. I'm also not gonna add too much bone broth, because then it will take a long time to reduce. What would I even equate that into a measurement? That was definitely like 1/16 of a cup, maybe like 4 or 5 tablespoons. Just want enough for the flavor. I don't want to sit here forever. So now I'm making the cream of mushroom, which is funny because this dish, oh, my family's seeing this. This is not the classic dish, guys. I'm sorry, but it is not, even though I love, you know, the classic and the flavors and growing up on it. But as a chef, I have a mind for evolving dishes, and it just is what it is. Sorry, Grandma. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. And then, ooh, it's raining now. So I got the garlic. So this will come at the end, the parsley and the lemon. So I'll just put that to the side for now. The only thing I need left is really the sour cream. I'm gonna put the beef in the fridge just so I don't leave it out. I think now is a good time to cut the noodles. So this is just gonna reduce down. You do not want it to boil, because then the cream will start to curdle. You just want it to gently simmer, like just gentle bubbles, and it will slowly reduce. So that's gonna be like a medium-low flame, depending on what really everybody has a different stovetop, so you just, once you see it bubbling, you just turn it down a little bit, and it just holds it there. All right, wow, raining in the summer. I love the rain in the summer, my God. And that's another thing, is the environment that we live in if we live in an environment that is not supportive to us, it's going to be pretty hard because our depression is telling us that we need to not be where we are. But we like, oh, there's something wrong with me internally. It's like, no, like sometimes it's your spirit needs something new. It needs something else. So I'm just taking the dough. I may add, well, we'll see how it goes. If it starts sticking a little bit, I'll add a little bit of flour, but I'm just gonna take my rolling pin, or you can use, you know, a can or whatever. Oh, the only thing is I'm gonna take these paper towels and get them wet and put them under my cutting board so it stops sliding. Okay, see, this is too much. So I'm just gonna turn on lower. See, it's okay if it happens for a moment, you just wanna really catch it. I'm gonna take the cutting board, the wet paper towel, and this will get that, all right. And you really want to get, I'm gonna do a little bit of flour, and you wanna get this really thin because fresh pasta will puff up a lot. And so it's gonna puff up more than you expect. You know, it's funny, I usually don't like to make pasta because I feel like one of my weaknesses as a chef is rolling things out. I've gotten a lot better, but it's also, you have to push yourself to try new things, you know, especially like creatively. Creativity helps so much with depression because depression is also a deeper part of us that's just longing to explore life more. And so we have to push ourselves. You know, I became a chef because I was so depressed, had no direction in life, and needed something to pursue, needing something to be passionate about. And, you know, I didn't start cooking until I was 18. I had no passion for it. And then I was just a video game nerd. And then I got really sick and I had to learn how to cook. And I just forced myself to cook. I forced myself to try a new thing. And so this is reducing. Oh man, it is raining. Nice. So that's reducing down. Oh, one thing, if you want to do the reduction faster, you can add a little bit of flour to it. When I had the mushrooms and garlic and onions, and that little bit of flour will help you get more of a thickness to it. And then you can also, if you're doing gluten-free pasta, you can do cornstarch and add a slurry to it. So I'm just going to reduce this down. The flour just makes it faster. You can reduce it down without it. You just have to be a little bit more technical on it. So I'm just gonna let that go. Yes, and you're gonna wanna roll this out way more than you think. I'm trying to get it like the length of the cutting board. Like think of a noodle that you would eat and how long you would want it. All right. So I'm gonna let that sit for a moment. I mean, that's looking pretty good. I was thinking like the thickness of a quarter, maybe a little less. Definitely not nickel. You're wanting more of a quarter. And then I'm just gonna cut it with my knife. And that's why I love making these noodles because it's so easy, it's so quick. And then I got the beef over there. And then you're just gonna wanna keep stirring your sauce. I kinda wish I added a little bit of flour, but if I add it now, it won't really blend in well. I would have to like add it and cook it in a separate pot and then add it. So that's the thing, like if you miss a step, you can use another pot, get that step going. Like I could add, you know, a little bit of flour and a little bit of cream and get that working. And then I actually could probably make a slurry with the flour and then add it back in. Maybe I'll do that. We'll get this pan going. Oh, actually, I'm gonna grab another pan. See, and sometimes we gotta roll with the punches, you know? Especially with creativity, especially with life. We can't, you know, I have never made this dish in the way that I'm making right now, and I'm allowing myself to be creative and explore. So I'm gonna take the flour, add it to the dry pan, just so I wanna cook it a little bit. Because if I add the flour to the liquid, it's going to get sticky and form those little like flour bubbles. But if I add a little bit of the cream to the flour, I can whisk it in. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see if this works, or maybe I'm just crazy. All right, it's working a bit. Yeah, I'm kind of just making a little slurry. Now I'm gonna add this in just to thicken it up a bit. Because I normally wouldn't do this, but I just want the process to go a tiny bit faster. So now, yeah, now it's thickening up really well. And then my water is almost boiled. And the thing with fresh noodles is it goes really, really quick. You know, it's not a 8 to 10 minutes. It's more like a 2 to 3 minutes. So you gotta be quick with it. And then I'm just gonna keep slowly simmering this sauce. What else do I got? So I got all of these. So now I'm just gonna peel this up so it doesn't stick. Maybe do one more good roll. Just because it relaxed for a moment. I want some nice long noodles. And then now at the point, it just depends on how you like your noodles. I want these to be really thin. Maybe like somewhere in between fettuccine and spaghetti. But you can do the size however you want. This is just the size I'm feeling. This is just, I'm creating a new dish and, you know, taking a classic and changing it up a little bit, especially with the Parmesan, the lemon, which is not classic to this dish. So when you're making a sauce, when you push it, you'll really see the sauce start to form an edge. And you're trying to, if I would take the sauce and put it on a plate, I want it to hold. So you want to cook it until it holds in that way. And how you do that is you take a spoon, you run through, you run your finger, and it's still dripping and it's not holding. So I know that it's not ready right now. And it still needs more time. So I'm gonna finish my noodles because and you know, this doesn't have to be perfect. This is a very rustic noodle. Just have fun with it, you know? And that's the thing with cooking and with creativity and overcoming depression and finding joy is just allow yourself to have fun with the things that you do. You know, I feel like when we're depressed, we don't allow ourselves to feel joy. We block ourselves from it, which is a whole other thing. It's because once we've been depressed long enough, once we've been dealing with these things long enough, like joy can be this like, oh, I can't feel joy because nobody knows my struggle or what I've been through, and it's a defense mechanism because then we're also sad because like, oh, we feel joy and then we feel sad like that joy wasn't real. So there's a lot of ways that we trip ourselves out. And as I did this all like really beautifully, and the last ones are not the greatest, but you know, it's all good. So I'm going to take these, I'm going to take a little bit of flour so they don't stick. I'm just gonna mix them like this. There's my pasta. It's looking good. Maybe I'll take a couple more in there. And you're just throwing the flour on just so it doesn't stick. All right, so now I got this. I'm gonna turn this on to get the beef going in. This is almost done, so I'm gonna stop this and then I'm gonna finish it up. Ooh, this may be a good moment to add the sour cream. So I'm gonna stop it, get everything else going, get the beef done, get the noodles done, and then I can add the sour cream and turn this back on and finish the sauce. This is looking good. This is looking nice. Woo! Yeah. What am I feeling? I guess I'm feeling shame for some reason. Shame of talking about this, shame of being vulnerable. Guilty for overcoming because I know so many people suffer. I mean, and that's the thing is like your depression, my depression is just a sensitivity. You know, so many people who have depression, anxiety are just more sensitive to life than most others are. And it's a gift. it's a privilege to be this sensitive and to honor that within you. To build your life where you can stop and have those moments of what's going on within me and getting support if you don't know how to feel your feelings, so you can begin to have a roadmap into understanding what's going on inside of you. It took me a long time to reach a place where in the matter of 5 seconds, I knew I was feeling shame. When I first started going to a therapist and healer, I told them, I was like, I'm dead on the inside. I don't know how to feel anything anymore. Please help me. And it took me years to feel again. All right, so the sauce is looking good. I got this going. So always with stainless steel, get the pan hot before you add the oil, or the oil will be too hot and then the pan won't be hot enough. So let the pan go and then add oil. The noodles are going. Oh, I probably should have, okay, I can use tongs. Have something to strain it out. Let's see if I have my strainer down here. Oh yeah. This is my strainer. This is my kitchen hat. This is how I protect myself, you know. Wild things can happen in the kitchen. Yeah, just have fun. Just like, don't take life seriously. Just have some fun. Be around people that allow you to be a silly goose. Be around people who love you for who you are, not what they want you to be. Yeah, and you'll find, and that will just make life so much more meaningful, so much more joyful. Oh yeah. I forgot how much I love to eat raw dough. Oh, that's good. All right. Now, I'm going to spread this out a little bit. I'm going to drop it in segments just so it doesn't stick, but really quickly. The beef's going to go so fast. So, throwing that in. Ooh, hey. Throwing that in. Got my tongs. All right, going to take the beef. I'm going to throw it in there. And you want to spread it out. You don't want it on top of each other. You want even surface area. It's already been salted. I'm going to take the tongs and just spread it out. And this is going to be really quick. I'm just wanting a nice caramelization. I'm just going to keep it on high heat just so I for sure get that caramelization I'm looking for. And then I'm just going to, you got to move the pasta or it's going to stick. Got to move the pasta. Oh, this is looking good. And yeah, this is going to puff up. It's already puffing up so much. And that's the thing, like I said earlier with fresh egg noodles, is they puff up so much, so you want to go thinner than you would expect. Oh my gosh, do a little cleanup. I'm going to pretend that I'm cleaning up, but I'm just going to push this over here. Oh my God, whoa, it's clean now. How did that happen? All right, keep moving the noodles. Yeah, and these noodles are going to be really quick, just al dente. You want to chew and you want to hit some resistance, but you don't want it to get stuck in your teeth. That's how you know it's al dente. You got to eat it in the back molar. All right. And then I'm going to turn this on really low to finish up the sauce, add the sour cream. I'm going to try it, see if it needs more salt. Holy. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. All right, right there. I thought I had the thing that strained it. I added too much black pepper, so I'm just going to skim. That's good. Just always, if you add too much of something, just stop for a moment and catch yourself. Oh my God, this is so good. The nice gravy. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah. The edges are starting to thicken up a bit. I'm going to flip the meats. Oh my gosh. This is going to be heavenly. Let's stir my noodles. So what you can do if you want to test noodles is just take one out and then try to hold it like a madman. Just cut off a little bit of the end. Throw it back in. Yeah, it's about halfway done. All right, I'm going to take the sour cream. Just a nice spoonful. And this will give you the tang. And then the Parmesan's going to give the umami. And then the lemon zest. I'm not going to do lemon juice because I want to keep the sauce thick. I'm just going to use lemon zest. Because lemon zest is dry and it's not going to, water down the sauce. But I'll still get the citrus, lemon acidity that I'm looking for. Oh my God. This is going to be good. And then, yeah, now I have to keep heating it because I added the sour cream and then I have to reduce it a little more. All right, I'm gonna turn that off because I'm gonna add the beef to the sauce, but I don't want it to be well done. I would want this honestly to be like medium well. I want like a little bit of pink, but if it's too pink, then it's gonna be, it's not gonna have like the bite that I want to it. And I mean, yeah, like this whole, like everything has to be medium rare. It's like, actually I like my steaks medium rare, medium, but then I like stuff like this more medium well. You know, it's just, the more you cook, the more you realize where you like things to land. All right. Oh, I need to cut the parsley. It's all coming together. It's all happening. You know, and that's one thing I love about cooking is just like, it teaches you about signals. It's like, oh, this is going on. This is happening. This needs to be done. And cooking is just such a reflection of what's going on also internally for us, like how I'm signaling like, oh, the sauce is there. This is done. This is that. It's like, that's also how our emotions work. Like things fire off and we follow them and we give them attention and we care for them. And then we create this beautiful, beautiful thing out of it. And that's where creativity comes from, is we have to feel within us and we have to feel where it's all going, and shame comes up and excitement comes up and we have to move through all of it and, you know, not like belittle ourselves for what we're experiencing just in the moment, just allowing it to be. I don't need too much parsley. I just want a little bit on top just for color and a little bit of flavor. So I'm just gonna take it, get rid of the big stems. I just want the leaves. Let's do a nice little chop. Oh my God, I wish I was outside right now. Oh, I need to go see it. I'm sorry, I need to see it. I know the sauce needs to cook, but whoo! Oh my God, okay, once this video is done, that's where I'm gonna be, I'll tell you that. My God. All right, I'm gonna turn this off because the sauce is fully reduced. Here, I'll show you. So look how I pull it and there's good edges to it. I pull it and there's good edges to it. I may have to cook it down a little bit more once I add the pasta, but we'll see but the pasta water will also help thicken it up a tiny bit. Oh, I love the end of making a meal. It just feels like the madman moment. I want the whole noodle. So close. Oh my God, those are so good. I've never made this dish. I am so excited. The last two dishes I've definitely made, I've never made this dish. Well, mainly because I think my family will think I'm a heretic for making this dish, but you know, sometimes you gotta do you. All right. Oh yeah, this is coming together. This is coming together. All right, and then I'll just, yeah, get some lemon zest. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna add in the beef. And I'm gonna do these noodles now. And the pasta water will definitely help thicken this up a little bit. I don't know if I'm gonna add any, but it's okay if a little bit of the liquid gets in here. Oh my God. Oh my God. Why don't I make more noodles? I make so much bread. I don't know why I don't make noodles. All right, so now I'm gonna turn this on. Just get a nice coating to it. Oh, oh yeah. Let's have a moment. Oh my gosh, that is looking good. Woo! Oh my God. So everything's coating now. Oh my God, Grandma, you're gonna be so proud of me. Woo! This is looking good. Pretty much there. Now for the presentation. I'm gonna take the noodles, make a little pile. I've never been great with pasta presentation, but as I say that, I'm gonna make this look amazing. All right, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna get a spoon so I can gather up the little tasty bits. Ooh, there's so many mushrooms. Oh, this is like, the joy that is radiating out of my stomach right now is Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna take the lemon zest. I'm gonna add that around. I know. This is not how we normally do it. It's okay, bear with me. And then I'm gonna take the cheese. Oh my gosh. This is kind of like blending this classic Russian dish with some Italian stuff, and oh my god. Oh my god. I need to move everything. Everything needs to move. It just me and this. Oh my god. I haven't been this excited to make something like this in a minute. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. This dish is the culmination of me overcoming my pain and suffering, my depression, my anxieties, all the times I never thought I was creative, all the times I never thought I could make something of my life, and I pushed myself through that edge. I really pushed myself through that edge. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to eat it. It's too beautiful. Oh my gosh. Well, this one's for you, Mom and Grandma. Love you guys. Oh my. That is one of the better things I have made in a really long time. Holy moly. And that's just when we allow our creativity to come forward and we push ourselves and we try new things, because it's like, I was like, oh, do I make the classic version? It's like, no, I want to change up a bit. Wow, this is going in the cookbook. This is so good. The meat is so tender. The noodles are so much flavor, and how the mushroom cream sauce just sticks to it. Wow, you're gonna have to watch me eat this whole thing. I'm just not gonna talk for 5 more minutes and. Oh my God. Yeah, this is me feeling joy. Allowing it to actually come through. I like how I cut the pieces up. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but I like it so much more than it laying it on top. It just incorporates so well, and the chews fit so perfectly with the noodles. The lemon zest. The Parmesan. All I need is some garlic bread, and I'd be taking it to a whole new level. I usually don't eat this much, but my God, I am really proud of this dish. Yeah. Don't be afraid to feel. Don't be afraid to explore all the different realms within you. Don't be afraid to hold your depression, to see what it's really trying to tell you. You know, life can be scary, life can be traumatic, life can be challenging, but beyond that, there is a realm that exists of peace, of beauty, of protecting, you know, your peace and love. And I'm saying a lot of words right now. Oh my God, this is pretty. I'm on a whole other level right now. This just took me to another place, which hasn't happened in a moment with food. Oh, I love when this happens. Yeah. I feel like there's something final coming through, and then I'll finish this. Yeah. Your suffering isn't meaningless. What you've gone through may have been so hard, so traumatic, so challenging, And you will overcome it. And you will live the life that you truly desire when you push for it, when you see it, when you pray for it, when you want it, when you want to live a life beyond the depression. And when you set that intention 1 time, 2 times, 1,000 times, and you keep pushing to it, you will make it through. And you will find peace. And you will know love and beauty. Just let yourself break down to find who you really are. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's a pleasure. And I wish you all the best. I'll see you next time. Take care.